All right, we're now going to look at how to strike and attack from the clinch when you're in the standing position. Maybe you don't want to go to the ground because the surface is too hard or covered with gravel, broken glass, whatever. Maybe there's no vertical surfaces, maybe it's too heavy to deal with. Now the idea, like we've talked about throughout this program, is the worst thing to do is to stay at this distance right in the middle of his zone of operation, where his arms and his body works the best. So again, we want to be too far away or too close. Now, if I want to get into a striking battle with the guy, for example, it's better for me to put him in a position where he can't strike back. That's basic jiu-jitsu philosophy. Now, usually that's done by putting him on the ground, which gives you gravity as well. But it's not always necessary, and we can use the clinch to set him up and put him into a position where you can strike him and submit him far more effectively than standing back here trading blows with a guy who outweighs you by 90 pounds. Okay, so the best position to be in if you want to strike somebody standing is in a dirty box clinch, we call that. That's what I call it. Nowadays in MMA, they often refer to the single collar tie, and hitting with the other hand is a dirty box clinch, but really all it is a single collar tie and hitting with the other hand. A dirty box clinch, the way I call it, is a more technical position where I've got the underhook and head control. This is used all the time in mixed martial arts, but different people call it different things. We're going to refer to this as the dirty boxing clinch. So just like we talked about in detail in the headlock section, he's in a bad way because his back is bent and worst case scenario at 90 degrees. Now, unlike the headlock, where I'm leaving his hands free and putting my body too close to him so that he can defend well, I'm using an underhook which lifts his shoulder up and I'm pushing on his head. All right, this is the position we want to get into. I'm going to show you how to get into there in a minute, but I want you to understand that this is an optimal position. If I want to fight with somebody standing, I want him in this position because there's not much he can do. Okay, so let's look at how we're going to get into there first, and then we can look at all the different options. This is going to happen a lot of different ways, but basically when you are pouncing on the guy after a punch, one of about three things is going to happen. We've covered a couple of them already. So if I'm early and I get in tight, a lot of the time my elbow hits his arm, it's easy for me to drop it over and I get the overhook. Good to go. All right. Another thing that happens if I'm late, it tends to hit me and my elbow is on this side of his elbow, and then as he winds up to hit me again, I follow it in and I get an inside hook. All right, we've done some attacks from there. And don't forget, from this inside hook, once I'm here, I can just as easily overhook it again, which gets me in closer, allows me to use my head. But what's happened a lot